This is Rogue Wing, Coraline, or Helen RD over at Starship Modeler. Welcome to the workshop. Well, real quick update time. As we continue working on the War Machine, the next to last sub-assemblies done. What we've got here is the shoulder-mounted weapons pod. This is basically two pieces, just glued two halves together. Seam removed, really easy. Then came the much more complex assembly, the Gatling gun. You can see the simulated hydraulic in the middle. There are also some gearing details that they put in. The barrels are just barely visible in there. I may go in. I was able to remove the seams from where the two pieces joined fairly easily. I may go in though with a scriber or a knife and open these up to better simulate the actual barrels of the Gatling gun. But at this point, all I've got left as far as sub-assembly work goes is that step right there, namely the ammo belt. We'll see how that plays out. Now, I can't put the Gatling gun or have the Gatling gun stay in place. Missile launcher holds just fine. The Gatling gun, because of the way it balances, won't stay up without help. That's to be expected. But that starts to give you a better idea how he's going to look when all's said and done. Definitely looking forward to the coming of paint. Good afternoon. Still at work on War Machine, but sub-assembly work is now officially complete. What we have over here is arguably one of the fiddliest fiddly bits I've ever dealt with in my model building career. I miscounted on the instructions. There are actually 8 pieces involved in this little web. That is the ammo belt for the minigun. This end links into his backpack, and then this end links into the gun itself. There are 8 pieces there. Fortunately, they are keyed more or less as to which end needs to go in which way. I would still pay close attention to the instructions as to which pieces go in which order. But, all in all, that's pretty much ready to go for primer once the glue sets up. Again, I'm really glad I'm using this stuff, because tube glue would have made a mess of that. Now, speaking of the minigun, I'm sure you'll notice there are gaps now between the barrels. What I did, I got thinking about it last night and decided just shadowing it wasn't going to look good enough. So, with a small grinding bit in my Dremel, I went in and opened up all the slots between the barrels to add to the appearance of an actual minigun, rather than the rather toy-looking block that it was. I've still got to go in and clean up some of these openings a little, but that's basically ready for primer now too. So, with a little luck, I'll either see primer later today or tomorrow. Greetings. We're back at the workbench after spending some time in the improvised paint booth, but we're not going to shoot in there today. I can sum up this section in 3 words. We have primer. Whole thing has been done in the Vallejo surface primer. This is the light ghost gray version. Thinned with Vallejo's airbrush thinner. And of course shot through the airbrush. Again, I haven't got him glued together yet, because the next step is going to be to mask off the sections that are going to be the lighter color, like the face plate, these plates on his chest, as well as a couple of plates on the legs and a few other places. I've also got the primer on the Gatling gun and the ammo belt. I'll leave them on the deck here and zoom in so the detail shows a little better. This looks a lot better than I thought it would. Definitely looks better than the solid chunk of plastic did. Ammo belt showing its seams, but there's not really a lot I can do about that because of the way they segmented it together. We'll just have to play it by ear and go from there. Next step at this point will be to mask the areas off, like I said, and then shoot everything else in black. Once I've got that done, then it'll be time to actually hit it with the color. But we'll deal with the black first. Greetings. Got a little change of plan about the way I'm going to have to attack this thing. The Vallejo primer, either I didn't let it cure long enough or it didn't bite well enough into the plastic, but I don't know how well it'll show here. I'd started to mask and the tape was peeling the primer off. So I've gone in with a brush and fixed the primer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do the whole thing in black. Then I'll go in and pick out the parts that I want to keep light with the primer by hand and go that route instead of masking and shooting. Well, live and learn. And this is the first time using the primer. We'll have to see how it works out. But here we go.